microphone that's in front of you, and behind you is the court recorder. She's got to take down everything that's being stated here. So your responses must be loud and clear, and they must be verbal, no head nods or shakes. You understand that? If you don't understand the question or you can't hear it, you can just let us know. And then if you say or we'll just ask you if that's a yes or no so that we can get it clear in the record. If there's an objection, you will stop speaking so the court can make a ruling on that objection, okay? And then I'll tell you if you can give that answer or not. Give me just one moment. Who is Sidra Alvey Waller?
She's in my office.
Okay.
Coordinator.
Okay, sounds good. Just wanted to make sure she's in the Zoom room.
Sure, why? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Lavender, can you state and spell your name for the record, please?
Yeah, I'm in the Lavender. Lavender, L-U-E-N-D-R.
Ms. Lavender, you understand you've been granted immunity, correct?
Yeah.
Do you understand what that means?
Yeah.
That means that anything you say, even if what you say implicates or means that you committed a crime, my office isn't going to charge you with that, okay?
Yeah.
Also, at some point, you have, I believe, 3 cases pending, 2 in 54A and 1 in 55th. Is that correct? You have criminal cases of your own unrelated to this pending, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. 2 of those are here in 54A and 1 in 55th District Court. Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
Okay. At some point, we're going to cut a deal, reference your cases, and part of that deal will be your continued cooperation in this case, okay?
Yeah.
Do you know someone by the name of Baby G? And what is Baby G's real name? You see Brian Blaylock in the courtroom today? Could you describe an article of clothing and where he's seated, please?
Right.
And is he standing or seated?
Yeah.
And where is he seated? Next to anyone or by himself? The record reflect the witnesses identified the defendant. Right in the court.
Give me an objection.
No, you're
This one over.
Ms. Lavender, I'd like to turn your attention back to April 10th, 2024. Did you have contact with Brian Blaylock on that day?
Yeah.
Do you recall roughly when it was that you first had contact with him?
She needs to raise her voice because I think I'm struggling and so is the defense attorney struggling to hear her.
You said the Super 8?
Yeah.
Recall roughly what time of day it was? Morning, evening, afternoon?
Maybe.
And were you at the Super 8 with Brian Blaylock?
No. By myself.
At some point in time, was Brian Blaylock there with you?
Yes.
Do you recall when that was?
No.
Morning, afternoon, evening?
Morning.
And at some point in time, did you and Brian Blaylock leave the Super 8?
Yes.
And when you left, did you drive, walk, ride a bike, something else?
It was my phone.
Do you remember what kind of car it was?
Honda Fit.
Is it Honda or what?
Fit.
Okay.
F-I-T.
Thank you. And when you left with Brian Blaylock in the Honda Fit, was anyone else in the car with you?
When you left, no.
The 2 of you?
Correct.
At that point in time, what was your understanding of where you were taking or where you were going with Mr. Blaylock?
At that time, we didn't have a destination. I mean, I just needed to leave the hotel. He needed to leave the hotel, so I gave him a ride and he left.
And where were you going?
He said something about Detroit. I said something about McDonald's. He said McDonald's.
Do you remember which McDonald's you went to?
Okay.
After you were at McDonald's, did you go somewhere else?
After we left McDonald's, we went.
Street? Sycamore?
Yeah.
And was that in the city of Lansing, Ingham County?
Correct.
And what was the purpose in going over to Sycamore, do you know? Why you guys were going there? It's okay, take your time.
Oh.
Ms. Lavender?
Yeah.
You stated you went to Sycamore Street, correct?
Yeah.
When you were, or prior to going to Sycamore Street, you were in the car, were there any phone calls received?
Mhm.
Is there a reason that you went to Sycamore Street? Ms. Lavender?
No.
There's no reason. Once you got to Sycamore Street, was it still just the two of you in the car?
Yeah.
And when you got to Sycamore Street, what did you do? Do you recall? Let's try this a different way. You provided Detective Larson here with a statement on Friday, did you not?
Yes.
And is it safe to say you recall the events of what occurred on April 10th, 2025 with her in an interview room at the Sheriff's Department? Correct?
Correct.
Okay, and that was recorded.
Correct.
Would it help to refresh your memory to watch your statement?
No.
Okay. While you were in the car on the way to Sycamore Street, did either you or Brian Blaylock receive a phone call? Do you recall? You don't recall?
Your Honor, it's time, this is the fourth time you get asked, and she keeps saying he doesn't recall. You need to move on.
Well, it sounds like we have a hostile witness.
We have a hostile witness, and I can play the video of her statement from a few days ago that would help refresh your memory.
Yeah.
I need to hook it into the computer system, Your
You
Honor.
need to actually log into Zoom.
Thank you. Your Honor, while I'm logging into Zoom, maybe we take a break and Ms. Lavender and her attorney could confirm.
Absolutely, off the record. You can go over there. Did you all want to walk out to confer?
If that would actually be preferable, Your Honor.
Okay, I think the jury room is open.
Very good, thank you.
He said, I'm gonna take his key, meaning Chris's key. To that girl that.
Okay, you can be seated. Okay, back on the record, and you're still under oath. Did you add or log into the Zoom?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. So now you'll be able to share your screen.
Ms. Lambert, let me ask you this. You came from the Union County Jail today, is that correct?
Correct.
Prior to being transported while you were in Union County, did you have occasion to speak to Brian Blaylock?
Like, you were doing.
So were you in separate cells,
Correct.
but he communicated with you?
I can't get it him.
And what was the crux of that conversation?
No.
Nothing. Did he just try to dissuade you in any way from testifying?
No.
Would it help to refresh your memory as to whether or not you received a phone call in the car if you watched your interview from a few days ago? It would not help refresh your memory. Your Honor, at this time, the witness is evading all questions and just assume.
No, unless it's not.
Do you remember if you received a phone call in the car?
I can't hear her.
Yes, I do.
Okay,
In addition to speaking up towards the end of a lot of statements,
Right.
sort of mumbling,
Sorry.
I know this is difficult, but if you could be clearer,
Yeah.
because this is important to everybody involved.
I figured.
You remember now that you received the phone call, or did Brian
I
receive
did
it?
not receive a phone call.
Carlos.
Did Brian receive a phone call? Is that what you said?
Yes.
And
No, that's not what I said. I said I did not receive a phone call.
did Brian receive a phone call? And when you, after Brian received that phone call, is that when you went to Sycamore Street?
Correct.
And do you know why you were going to Sycamore Street?
Yeah, somebody had called stating that someone was there. The old baby money.
So someone had called and indicated that someone was there, meaning
Correct.
Sycamore Street, who owed Baby G money.
I'm gonna
Correct.
check, someone had called, it seems like hearsay. I think he needs that if she heard the call, well, and even then it would be hearsay.
I asked why they were going to Sycamore Street, so that wouldn't be offered for the truth of the matter, but offered as to why they went to Sycamore. On your way over to Sycamore Street, did you make any suggestions to Brian Blaylock to reference the person that owed him money, that something he should do? Something that Brian should do once you got to Sycamore Street.
I just said that I hope not, I don't want him to get hurt.
Why did you think someone might get hurt?
I didn't think that they would. I just was stating that I didn't want anybody to get hurt.
Gotcha. Understood. Did you make any suggestions to Brian about how he could try to get the money from this person?
I said that, and not he, but I said that I would, I said that you go there, take his car until he pays the money.
And when you say that you suggested to take the car until the person paid the money, meaning paid the money to Brian Blaylock?
Yes.
You know who the person was that you were going to take the car from?
Chris,
You know Chris's last name?
Hammond?
Say that
No,
again?
I don't know how to say it. But,
Do you know what his last name started with? What letter?
yeah.
So Chris S.
Yeah.
When you got to Sycamore Street, what did you do? Did you get out of the car?
Yes.
And where did you go when you got out of the car? Ms. Lavender, where did you go when you got out of the car?
Upstairs?
Were these stairs on the inside of the house or the outside of the house?
Yeah, sorry.
And did you say this is a single family home or was it a home divided into different apartments?
There was a downstairs and upstairs, two different apartments.
On each floor or in total?
Total, I think. I don't know.
Fair enough. When you got to Sycamore Street and when you said the staircase was outside,
In the back, yeah,
then that was my next question, on the back side of the house.
yeah.
Once you got to the stairs on the back side of the house, did you go up the stairs?
Yeah. Yeah.
And was Brian Blaylock with you when you went up the stairs?
Not at first, no.
At
But
some,
then he was right behind me.
and when you got to the top of the stairs, what was there? Was there a door or a window?
A door.
And what happened when you got to the door? Did you knock or do something else?
Yes, I knocked.
And what happened when you knocked on the door?
Open it.
Did you go in?
Yeah.
Did Brian Blaylock go in?
Yeah.
Once you got inside, did you go to another door?
Yes,
Was there an apartment number or anything associated with the door, if you recall?
I don't recall.
What happened when did you go to another door?
I went to the back door and then another door.
Was the other, once you get inside, was the other door open or closed?
So
And what did you do when you got to the closed door?
began to kick the door.
Who began to kick the door?
I did,
What was the reason you were beginning to kick the door?
because Chris was there.
So you were trying to get in?
Correct.
Were you successful in kicking the door open?
No,
What happened after you stopped kicking the door?
we both kicked the door and then a gun went off.
Let me stop you there for a moment. When you say we both began to kick the door, do you mean you and Brian Blaylock?
Yeah.
And you said a gun went off. Who had a gun? Ms. Lavender?
Gun wasn't pointed anywhere, but it was Brian did.
Door open?
Yes,
And when the door opened, what happened?
we were in the door.
You said a moment ago something about a gun going off.
I heard a gun go off there
And was that before or after the door opened?
before.
Was it loud?
Very.
And you stated, was anyone else holding a gun at Sycamore Street other than Brian Blaylock?
Not that I saw.
And the gun that you heard go off, was that the gun that was in Brian Blaylock's hand?
I didn't see it go off, but I heard it go off.
Was it next to you when it went off?
He was next to me.
And was the gun next to you when it went off?
He was by his side.
And did you see what Brian Blaylock was pointing at with the gun?
Yeah, he wasn't pointing the gun anywhere.
Do you know when the gun went off, what got shot? The bullet went?
I think the door might have, but it opened, but I don't know if the second that.
So you're kicking at the door, the gun goes off and the door opens?
Yeah,
And who do you see when the door opens?
a female and Chris,
Do you know the female's name,
Jamie,
last name?
no,
And this is the Chris S. that you identified?
yes,
What happens when the door opens and you see the two people? Does anyone come out?
Chris comes forward to the gate, Brian,
Did Chris have anything in his hands?
no,
When Chris comes at Brian Blaylock, what does he do? Meaning, what does Chris do?
he came at Baby G, like, he came at Brian and like went for, like, towards the gun,
And what happened when he came at Brian and went towards the gun?
they started tussling around.
When you say tussle, can you explain to us what that looked like? Is that fighting?
Pretty much,
Was it, explain to the fighting, was it punches or pushing?
pushing,
Did it look like they were struggling over the gun?
yeah,
And what happened, is this inside the
Yeah.
inside the apartment or outside the apartment?
okay. Inside the apartment.
And at some point in time, did they come outside the apartment?
Yes, I went to reach for Chris's phone, grab Chris's phone, and as I did that, they were making their way towards the hallway, towards the front of the, apartment.
So you grabbed Chris's phone.
Correct.
Why did you do that?
I don't know exactly.
Just acted? So now this tussle is outside in the hallway,
Upstairs, yeah.
and at some point in time, did the tussle go down the stairs?
They both were falling down the stairs.
You said they fell down the stairs?
Yes, they were falling, but coming downstairs. Yeah.
And they're still, as you described it, tussling, like pushing?
Yeah, well, Chris is down, yeah, by the time they get down to the bottom of the stairs, Chris is just taking the gun.
And when Chris has his hands on the gun, are they at the bottom of the stairs?
Correct.
When you say Chris has his hands on the gun, Brian Blaylock's still holding the gun at that point?
I saw, I mean, he has, I don't know. Honestly, I just know I saw Chris's hand trying to pull the gun.
So you saw Chris's hand trying to pull the gun away. At that point in time, does the gun go off again?
When I don't know if it went off on the way down or I want to say it went off because
Did not catch
I
that.
want, sorry, I want to say it went off when Chris had to grab it for it.
Would that have been at the bottom of the stairs or while they were going down the stairs?
Almost the bottom.
Almost at the bottom. And the gun went off again. What happened after the gun went off again?
I was down and Chris had it in his hands, ran his hands up, he said, he grabbed the gun, and I said, I know, I saw it.
And where was Chris at this point in time?
It was just unsafe,
Was he saying anything?
calling one.
And did you see any wounds on Chris?
I didn't. It was bleeding, yeah.
You saw-
Like, I didn't know,
You just saw blood?
yeah.
So did you believe that Chris had been shot?
Yeah.
Did you see a little bit of blood or a lot of blood? Just a little at some point in time or any point in time, did you see a lot of blood?
No.
After Chris was shot and you saw a little bit of blood, what happened next?
I turned around and ran.
And did you go back up the way you came or did you go out? You go back out the back stairwell?
Yes, it is.
Was Brian Blaylock with you?
No,
At some point in time, did you arrive back at your car?
yes,
And did Brian Blaylock arrive back at your car?
yes,
And what did you do when the two of you arrived back at your car?
like I was,
With both of you in the car?
yes.
At some point in time after you drove off, did you have a discussion with Brian Blaylock with regard to the gun?
I told him to throw the gun out the window.
You told Brian to throw the gun out the window?
Yeah.
And did he?
Yes.
Do you know how far away you were from Sycamore Street where this incident occurred when he threw the gun out the window? Sorry?
Not, I don't really recall where it was at.
That's fine. Was it pretty soon after or a long time after?
Wow, a little while.
A little while? Did you see what color the gun was?
No.
But Brian had the gun in the car at that point in time.
No.
And
I just said, yeah.
that's fine. Are you an expert in guns?
No.
That's fine. But certainly when you left, the gun was in the car with you.
Yeah.
After the gun was thrown, where did you drive the car to?
I don't remember. There's a parking garage somewhere.
Was it-
Parking lot,
And what did you do once you got to the parking lot?
parked my car.
And what'd you do after you parked your car?
So locked it and left it.
And where did you go?
It's nothing so fast. I don't even remember.
Did you walk away or get picked up by another car?
I walked away.
And what happened to Brian Blaylock?
No idea.
Did he walk away as well?
Well, yeah.
Did he walk away with you or by himself?
It just happened so fast. We split up.
I'd like to just turn your attention back now to the point in time that you're upstairs at the apartment door kicking it in.
Yeah.
Did Brian say anything to Chris at that point in time?
No,
You had had this discussion about taking Chris's car,
correct,
you testified to, right?
correct.
Did Brian ever ask for the car or the keys or
No.
anything like that?
No,
Did you?
no.
I believe I already asked you this, but these events that occurred were on April 10th of 2024. Just a moment, Your Honor. Just have a moment, Your Honor. Ms. Lebner, was your understanding that the reason that you left Super 8, you went to McDonald's, and from McDonald's went to Sycamore Street was because Chris owed Brian money?
No, we left the Super 8 because Brian needed to leave the Super 8 by the owner, so the owner asked me to give him a ride. So we were gonna go to Detroit, but not went to McDonald's.
And then you went
From
from,
McDonald's, we went there and we did not, we didn't leave McDonald's to do that. Like when we left McDonald's, when on our way there, we had a conversation. I knew when he was the conversation.
so you went to McDonald's and then you were gonna head to Detroit, but then got that phone call and went to Sycamore instead, is that?
Correct.
And your understanding was you're going to Sycamore so that Brian could collect money from Chris?
We didn't really even say why. Or just was my understanding. Or the money.
Do you know why Chris owed Brian Blaylock money?
For drugs.
And then that's when you went to Sycamore Street.
Yeah.
What happened to Chris's phone? You said you took it during
Yeah,
this
I
incident?
threw it when I parked my car.
So after this all happened,
Correct.
you took Chris's phone from Chris,
In the bed.
or you took it off the bed? When you said there was another female inside the apartment with Chris,
Mhm.
Jamie, do you know, was there any reason that you went to that address between Brian and Jamie as well as Chris, or was it just to go see Chris for the money?
No, it was just to go see you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. I have no further questions.
Prosecution.
You indicated that you know Baby G, correct?
Correct.
And Baby G is which boy, correct?
Yeah.
How long have you known?
You?
For, did you say 3 years?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you date him?
No.
Did you socialize with him?
Yeah.
What was your activity?
He's a brother to me.
Pardon?
No, he's like a brother to me.
He's like a brother to you? How did you first meet him, you know?
They were friends.
You indicated that on the night or on the day in question, you were at the Super 8 Motel, is that correct?
Correct.
It was at your residence at the time?
Correct.
And how long did you live there?
5 years.
Did you have like a lease there or you just stay there?
I'm still there anymore.
At that time?
Their time, day by day, I paid.
You paid day by day. Were you working?
No,
You said that you came into contact with Mr. Blaylock in the morning, maybe?
he was there for a couple, he was there. beforehand, so they've been in.
Had he been there from the night before?
I think so.
You don't recall?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was.
Okay, so you do recall.
I'm pretty sure, yes.
He was there from the night before. Was he there several nights before?
Yes,
Okay. In fact, was he there semi-residing with you?
correct.
So you and he were sort of both living there?
Yes,
Well, he didn't just come to that hotel that
no, he
day?
ain't been there, no.
All right. You indicated, I think, Mr. Behrman asked you a question. I wrote down, he said, I was by myself.
Right.
All right. At the Super 8?
Yes.
Okay, so was there a time that day that Mr. Blaylock then left the Super 8?
No, I didn't. And I came back. And then when I got back, the owner said he had to leave. And then I needed to take him. So then you left.
Did you describe the car as a Honda Fit?
Correct.
What was the color of the car?
Black,
And is it a 4-door or 2-door?
quarter.
It's a 4-door, okay. Do you recall why the two of you left the Super 8 that morning?
Yes, the owner said the brand new leave the property.
The owner of Super 8,
Correct.
you know why?
No,
You didn't need to leave though, did you?
no,
Do you know why you left with Brian then?
you were right.
And where did he want to go to?
When I left, we were under the, we were, did not have any plans on where we were going as we left.
Okay, is there a parking lot there?
Yeah.
How did you know which way to turn out of the parking lot? You didn't know where you were going. Well,
had
you
no
mean,
plans on
you
where
go to the
I-
parking lot takes you into a street, right?
Correct.
All right, so you usually have to turn left or right or go straight, right?
Yeah,
How did you know which way to go if you didn't know where you're going?
I didn't know which way to go. I just went
Were you driving?
correct. Correct.
So Chris wasn't driving.
No. I was driving,
Okay,
and baby G just told me to just get the hell out of it, so I got the hell out of it.
and which way did you go? Do you remember?
Left.
You went to the left, okay. Did you indicate that at some point he said he wanted to go to Detroit?
Yeah,
All right. But you didn't wind up going to Detroit, correct?
correct,
You went to McDonald's.
correct.
What McDonald's did you go to?
And okay,
The one in MLK. Did you get something to eat?
no,
What did you buy anything at McDonald's?
no, we barely made it to the drive-through.
You said you barely made it through the drive-through?
We barely made it to the drive-through, yes. When we were in the drive-through, we got a phone call and we left.
Okay, so you were going to buy something, but he got a phone call.
Correct.
And you just what, proceeded through the drive-through?
No, I turned around.
Okay.
Well, I went around, I drove around.
Where, when you were at McDonald's, did this call come in? Like when you were in the drive-through, when you're driving around to the drive-through?
As we pulled into the drive-through.
Okay, and could you tell how long Mr. Blaylock was on that phone?
2 seconds.
Okay, could you hear him talk?
Yeah,
Could you hear the voice from on the other side?
no,
Okay. And it was at that time that you were then gonna go to someplace else?
after the phone call,
And that was to Sycamore Street?
correct,
Had you ever been to Sycamore Street before?
no,
Had you ever been to that residence before?
no,
Did you originally know why you were going to Sycamore Street? Did you ask, you were driving the car, right?
Right.
You owned the car, right?
Yeah.
Okay, did you ask, why are we going to Sycamore Street?
Yeah.
Okay. And what did he tell you?
and Jamie and said, "Yes, this is it."
And for the record, when he said, what did he tell you? I meant Mr. Blaylock.
Correct.
Okay. When Mr. Berman originally asked the question, if you received any phone calls, you said you don't know. Why did you testify like that?
I'm nervous.
What she said, she's nervous, though,
She said, I'm nervous. But you said that like a question. Are you nervous?
Yes.
And being nervous, does that affect your memory?
No.
Have you taken any medication today that might affect your memory?
No.
Are you on any medication?
No.
You also responded a little more affirmatively that you had no reason to go there. Why did you testify that you had no reason to go there?
This is all in the written thing, and it's hard for me to do. It's not so much as telling hard to tell the truth. It's just like, I'm hurting somebody that I love. So
Where are you from originally? From the Lansing area?
no,
Where are you from?
no,
Chicago. And how long have you lived in the Lansing area?
no, 10 years.
About 10 years. And while in the Lansing area, have you ever lived in the city area?
Mm,
Downtown
no,
or off downtown?
No.
Okay.
excuse me, I was gonna go for a little while.
Okay. You indicated that you were on a ride here. You got transported from the jail?
Yeah.
Okay. And that you tried to communicate with Mr. Blaylock
Not doing transport, but in holding him.
in holding you tried, so he never tried to talk to you,
He talks back, I talk first.
but you initiated the talking, is that correct?
Yeah, I said his name.
Okay. You testified at some point that the subject of Chris, excuse me, owing Brian money came up. Is that
Sure.
correct? Who brought that up?
It wasn't a secret, everybody knew about it, like, it wasn't something. I had a conversation with Brian in the past about it, yeah.
Okay, but on this day, was there a specific conversation about Chris owing Brian money?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay, and was that during the drive from the McDonald's to Sycamore Street?
I was called, yes.
Okay.
On the way from McDonald's to there. There was no dollar amount, there wasn't anything like that, it was just more of, I might have even asked him about it. And he answered, yes, he owes me money, but he didn't, that was it.
Did he tell you why at any point you were going over to Chris's place? And again, excuse me for the record, did Brian ever tell you during the drive over from McDonald's to Sycamore?
He just said, all he said was, give me the address, I put in my GPS and said, go here, Jamie just said, you put it there.
Was there any specific conversation from Brian that he was going there to collect money?
I say, because I started the conversation about the money, I think, because if I recall correctly, it was me saying, because I assumed that it was about the money, yes. So I said, let's take this card until they pay you money back. I said, as long as you promise me not to get hurt. He said, okay.
And so you made the suggestion to take Chris's car, correct?
Correct,
Brian never raised that with you, is that correct?
correct.
Okay.
Why did you assume this was about money?
We're gonna pass the conversation about him owing him money.
Okay.
Okay. It was you that was emphasizing maybe you should take the car for the debt, correct?
Correct,
So you were more concerned about the debt, because Brian didn't raise it, did he?
he's the one that wanted to go there. I was just trying to avoid even get hurt.
Okay, do you know if Brian had ever been there before?
I have no idea.
Okay. No. Have you subsequently learned Chris's name was Chris, or had you known Chris?
I have no clue.
Okay, and you mentioned that there was a Jamie Mauer there, is that correct?
I don't know his exact last name, but Jamie, yeah.
A Jamie then,
Mhm.
okay. And did you know her from prior associations?
Is Jamie living inside the house? No.
Okay, did you know Chris from prior associations?
Yes,
How many times would you guess that you interacted with Chris?
more than I can count.
A lot of
Correct.
times, is that correct? Okay. And what was the nature of the interactions?
He was a date.
Okay. Professional date? And was there drug use?
Yeah.
Okay, what was Chris's drug of choice?
Correct.
I'm gonna object to relevance.
That's relevant.
Anything that could impair her memory would be relevant, I think, in cross-examination on.
I don't know that he was asking about drug use that day. He was asking about prior professional dating situations.
And I will go to that.
Okay, the objection is sustained.
You used drugs, correct?
When? Ever?
Frequently.
Correct.
At this time in your life, you were a drug user, correct?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. What was your drug of choice?
Heroin.
Chris, why that?
Money, yes.
You indicated that you'd never seen the Sycamore House before.
Correct.
Where would you typically see Chris?
At Super 8.
Okay. Now, you indicated you didn't know Jamie Mauer's last name, but you know her first name?
Yes,
Okay. What kind of associations did you have with Jamie?
I didn't.
Okay, how was it that you knew her or knew her by name, at least first name?
He's the one that told me that Jamie was there. And Chris was there.
Okay,
Because the other Jamie called and said that she was there. That's all I know her. That's the only way I know her by is because of the situation.
okay.
Other than this, I don't know her.
When you
I couldn't even tell you she was there.
when you get, well, let me back up a little bit, and then I'll move on. During the entire time from the ride to McDonald's
Mhm.
to the time that you actually arrived at the Sycamore Street address, does Brian ever mention getting Chris's car? Okay, that was your idea, correct?
Yes, I already did that.
You say that you proceeded up the stairway first?
Yes, I did.
Okay, was it a back or front stairway?
That.
It was a back stairway, and it was an attached, looks like an add-on stairway, correct? It's not an internal one where there's walls on it, it's like an outside one.
Correct.
Okay, and you went up first,
Yes.
but you said that Chris was, or that Brian was right behind you.
Correct.
All right, just a few feet?
Correct.
Were you able to look back and see him?
Yes.
Okay, do you know if he was holding a gun at any time?
Not on the way up.
Okay, and then,
I'm sorry, just to be clear, you don't, was the question, did you know on the way up, he didn't have a gun or didn't know that he had a gun?
I did not see it on the way up.
and that would have been probably a properly phrased, you didn't see a gun.
Not on the way, I'm not serious. I'm
Okay.
serious on the way into the house, no.
Okay. Did you go all the way to the top of the stairs?
so that's how I got in. Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, did the stairs have only, could you get up on the second floor and then the top floor?
You went straight from the bottom up to the top.
Okay, and there was an outside door you had to knock on,
Correct.
all right, and you knocked on that door, right?
Correct.
Did you say you were let in?
Yes,
All right, do you recall who let you in?
a male.
Okay,
He's African American male. I don't know.
did you ever see him any beyond him letting you in? Did you ever see him later that day at all?
Where did I say no?
Okay, you testified about an extensive violent episode, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't, whether he was there or not, you didn't see him, did you? You, during the episode that you testified to, in which ultimately Chris was shot, you never saw this person again, right?
Correct.
Okay. Were you still ahead of Brian when you entered the door? Like a gentleman, did he let you go in first?
I was at the stairs first, and I was in the door first.
You were in the door first, too. Okay. Where did you go?
2 more feet inside.
2 more feet inside?
Mhm.
Okay, what'd you do then?
I asked the guy that was there where they were at.
Where,
Chris and Jamie were at.
okay. And he told you?
Yeah.
All right. As far as you could tell, was Brian still behind you at that time?
Yeah.
As far as you could tell, was Brian displaying a weapon at that time?
And I didn't see a weapon. I didn't even, okay. I didn't see a weapon, so I heard the weapon go off. And when I go through.
All right, all right. How far did you go from the outside door that you walked into to Chris's door?
Maybe 5 feet.
Maybe about 5 feet. All right. And you were the first to knock on it?
I was knocking when I tried the doorknob. It was black. Went to take the door in, and then the doorknob, then they moved like they were gonna open the door. Did not open it. We both took the door in.
Well, hang on. Let me back up. Okay. On the external door,
Mhm.
you knock and someone let you in, right?
Correct.
And then you get directed to Chris's door, correct?
Yeah.
And then at Chris's door, you try the knob and it doesn't work, correct? Okay, and you're the first person to try to kick that door in, is that
Yes.
correct?
Okay.
Okay. Why didn't you just knock more? Can't recall.
Because they wanted to know we were coming. I guess it was, you want to know. Basically, the other door locked, we tried to kick the door, I tried to kick the door. Then the door not moved, like they were gonna open the door, but it all happened so quickly, because nobody opened the door, so I don't know, I didn't knock the first time, so I didn't knock the second time.
So you didn't knock the second time, you just tried to
Because I
kick it
didn't
in
knock the
because
first
you
time.
didn't want to warn Chris that you were there, correct? I can, okay, good. So at some point then, did both you and Brian try to kick the door?
Yeah,
Okay, where'd you kick it? Did you kick it right at the bottom?
yeah,
Okay, or did you try to kick it up kind of where the door gets kind of held by the handle, doesn't it?
kind of, yeah,
In that area, you know, if you kick the bottom of the door, you might damage the door, but
right,
it isn't necessarily gonna open, is it?
correct,
So you need to kick it a little higher
correct.
to force it open. Okay, so you and he then kicked it higher,
One, yeah,
okay, and for the record, you and Brian kicked it higher,
correct,
all right. At some point, you stopped kicking?
yes, the gun went off.
Okay, so you were both kicking the door when the gun went off? All right, and who was holding the gun? Okay, did you see where he got it from?
No,
Did you see which hand it was in?
it's not. Oh, which one it was.
Okay. So you're both standing in front of the door trying to kick it, correct?
Yeah.
Were you, which of the two of you were closer to the handle?
I was.
You were closer to the handle. Okay,
It
And-
was in the right hand.
okay. Were you surprised when the gun went off?
Yes,
Could you see Mr. Blaylock's reaction when the gun went off?
yes,
Okay, and you had known him for years, did you say?
correct.
Would you say, based on your experience knowing him, that to you, he appeared surprised also?
Yes,
Okay, did he say anything?
I don't remember.
All right. Did that open the door?
Okay, yeah, the door opened, yeah.
Okay. Did it open from the firing or from the two of you kicking?
I don't know what happened at the same time.
It all happened kind of at once.
Yeah.
All right. And then at some point you saw Chris
Okay, yeah.
and Jamie. And what'd you say that Jamie did? Did she leave?
I think she stood up and screamed, and then Chris came, and got in front of her, and went towards Brian,
Okay. Where did Jamie go?
off to the side.
Okay. Do you know if Jamie exited that room?
I don't know.
All right. You don't recall if she
I
got
don't
out?
think she did. I don't know.
Do you know that if there was any other way out of that room other than the door that you were all standing at?
Yeah, another door right in front, another door, yeah,
Okay, so there was another way to get in and out of that?
yeah.
All right. At this point, you and Chris are still standing next together, pretty much, is that correct?
Me and Chris, no.
Are you and Brian? I'm sorry. You and Brian?
No,
Okay. And are you clear that Brian approaches, or Chris approaches Brian?
yes,
You're sure of that?
100%.
Okay. And did you testify that he then went after the gun?
Correct.
Describe how he did that.
He charged Brian and reached for the gun.
Okay, Charge Brian, was Brian saying anything that you could recall?
I don't remember either one of them with anything.
Okay, was there possibly yelling going on?
Yeah,
Were they possibly yelling at the same time?
Yeah.
All right, and you don't recall that other than they're angry?
Correct.
All right. Do you see if Chris is able ever to get his hands on the firearm?
yeah.
And where do you first notice that?
It was like mid bottom of the stairs. Well, when he first grabbed it.
First, yes.
Oh, when he first grabbed it, like in the beginning,
Okay.
on top,
Okay, and, okay,
when he charged the Brian.
all right. And thereafter, it appeared that, did it appear that Chris's hands were on the gun continuously?
Yes,
All right. And did it appear to you that they were struggling over that?
yes.
Do you recall if anybody went to slug the other person?
No,
Did it appear because they both had both their hands, both Chris and Brian had their hands on the weapon?
Yeah.
All right. You indicated that you went to get Chris's phone. Where was his phone during
on
all
the
this?
bed,
On the what?
on the bed,
Okay. You said on the bed?
yeah,
And how far was the bed from this entrance to this door?
a foot.
A foot or two?
Yeah.
Okay. How quickly after you entered that apartment did you then go for Chris's phone?
Immediately,
Okay.
after we entered the apartment or entered the second door,
After you entered the second door,
right,
you're in the apartment, correct?
Correct.
And immediately when you enter, you go for Chris's phone.
correct.
Why?
Well, my understanding was we were going to take the car, so if I had a phone, he would have to give up his keys, so I took the phone.
Well, to drive his car, wouldn't you just need,
If he didn't want to give up his keys, he would want the phone because the only use of money is the phone,
okay,
and I know Chris, so.
you know Chris, and if you get the keys, he would need his phone, correct?
No, if they didn't get the keys, I wanted his phone in case he didn't give his keys up.
Okay. So it appears you gave a lot of thought to this.
I am right now.
Okay. But you're only remembering what happened then,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So it appears that you gave a lot of thought to this at that time, correct?
Well, yeah.
You had a plan.
Wasn't a solid thing, but yeah.
I didn't say it was a good
Yeah.
plan, but you had a plan. Okay. How long did the struggle stay on that floor before it went to the
Almost
staircase?
immediately.
Okay. All right. So would it be fair that when the struggle began, Chris was on the inside of the apartment, correct?
Yeah.
And Brian was near the entranceway, is that correct?
It was right in front of her.
It was right in front of Chris. All right. Chris is significantly bigger than Brian, is that correct?
Correct.
He's maybe a little taller and quite a bit heavier, correct?
Correct.
All right, so did it appear that Brian was then pushing, or that Chris was then pushing Brian backwards?
They were pushing each other, yeah.
Okay. You know who arrived at the staircase, at the top of the staircase first, or were they, when I mean they, Brian and Chris, kind of interlocked and together at
They
the
were
time?
interlocked together.
Okay, struggling for the gun.
Yeah.
Okay. This staircase is a two-part staircase.
Right.
It goes down a flight, correct?
Right.
There's a landing,
Yeah.
and then it makes like an L turn
Yeah.
to another staircase, right?
I just want to clarify, you're talking about the staircase outside or inside?
I'm talking about staircases that are tumbling down inside.
It's a hallway staircase.
This is not, so the record's clear, this is not the same staircase as the external staircase that you came into the building on, is it?
No.
Okay, this is one in which there's a roof over it, it's part of the building, not an attachment to the building, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And so they seem to be tumbling down together.
Correct.
Just a moment. Okay. Like most humans, were you interested in watching this fight going on?
Interested? No.
Okay, but could you see it from where you were, your vantage point? When it started and then when they went down the stairs?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know where you heard the sound of the gun go off? Were they on the first flight of stairs? Or were they on the landing? Or to the second flight of stairs?
Second floor. Okay, so the staircase in the hallway, it takes a turn. This is the turn. You go out. Then you have to take a immediate left and then immediate right to go straight down.
Right.
And then to an outside porch, and then 2 more steps to go out to the sidewalk.
Okay, okay, and they were on the staircase for a bit before you heard the gun go off?
Okay, is that?
The second they hit the top of the first set of stairs, you didn't hear the gun go off, correct?
No,
You heard it as they were tumbling further down, correct?
correct.
And did you testify that it looked like Chris was pulling the gun towards himself?
Yeah,
Okay. Did you see the gun go off?
Off the record.
Right.
I don't know who they are, but they're very distracting me.
Pardon?
Like when they walk in, they start distracting me, like I don't know what.
Ma'am, I can't talk to you when I'm not
They
questioning you.
distracted me.
I'm just getting distracted by the situation. That's why I slowed down because I don't know.
They making faces at me. I'm in court. Why the
Yeah.
Right?
All rise.
You hear that?
Absolutely.
Hang on.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Do you want to?
Mr. Berman's whereabouts, but I
You
am.
can approach.
Come to chambers.
I appreciate that.
No problem.
All rise.
You can be seated. Okay. There are no witnesses connected to this case, which the court only granted sequestration for witnesses in the courtroom for the purposes of this case. Any potential witnesses on another matter are not to be sequestered or not permitted to be in an open courtroom. The other concerns, which I'm not 100% clear on, is that although the courtroom is open, you're not allowed to communicate from the gallery with either any of the parties or witnesses. And if I or any of the court officers here visualize communication and or recording, then you will be escorted out of the courtroom. You can continue.
Okay, thank you. I think where we left off is it appeared to you that Chris was pulling on the gun, but they both are holding it. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And at some point, did you see it go off or just hear it go off?
Yeah.
Okay, you just heard it go off. And it wasn't on the first flight of steps. It was near the landing, or was it near
Towards the bottom, yes.
towards the bottom? Okay. And then The only thing you reported you heard was that you heard Chris say, call 911.
Correct,
Okay, did you hear any statements from
right?
Brian?
Yeah.
What were those?
He said he grabbed the gun.
He said, what?
He said he grabbed the gun. He grabbed the gun.
Okay. Did Brian at any time utter any words like that he was gonna shoot him?
No,
Okay, did Brian ever utter words that you gotta give me the car?
nope,
Okay, did Brian ever utter the words, give me the money, you owe me money?
no.
Okay. Did you ever get the keys to the car?
No,
You said that you never saw a lot of blood, is that correct?
correct.
All right. You got out of there, you and Brian got out of there pretty quickly?
Correct.
Okay, did you go back down the outside external staircase?
I came the way I came in, after that.
The way that you came in, so you
Correct.
did not take the route that where Chris was lying?
No.
Okay. And how soon after the shot and Chris saying it, you didn't want to, how long would you say it took you and Brian to leave?
Immediately,
Within 60 seconds?
Yeah.
Okay. And you went what, back to your car?
correct.
Remember, where were you parked?
In front of the house.
In front of the house? Okay, do you know if you were going north, west, east, south?
If you're looking at the house, I'm hard pointing towards the right.
Okay, and where did you drive off to?
That direction, then have to go fast, I passed a couple blocks and then to the right on another road.
Okay. Was Brian directing you where to drive?
No,
You were just leaving?
correct.
Okay. Were the two of you talking at all? Were you and Brian talking in the car at all?
Not really, I don't think so.
Okay, and did you say it was your suggestion that he throw the gun away?
Right?
Was it your suggestion that Brian throw the gun away?
I told him to throw it out the window, yes.
Okay, and you were driving the vehicle, is that correct? So he would have thrown it out, what, the front passenger window?
Correct.
All right. And do you know the street that you're on at the time?
No,
Where did you ultimately stop and get out of the vehicle?
a parking area.
A parking area?
Yeah.
Was
Is
it
it open? You want-
attached to a business?
No, it was around about other parking garages. I had a hard time even finding my car to get back to it. I don't know.
Okay. How far did you drive before you parked the vehicle?
Away,
Okay. Several miles.
no,
But how long were you driving?
no. It's just, when you're driving, it can seem a lot longer than what it is, or vice versa. But, it was downtown area. I think.
It was still in the downtown area.
I think so, correct.
Any particular reason you chose that particular place to park?
It was just quick to park and get out of the car.
Okay, and you said you got out?
Yeah,
Okay, no, you didn't live in that area, correct?
correct.
Okay. Did you just leave your car there?
Yes.
And where did you walk to?
I don't know the name of the road. It might have been Saginaw. I don't know if that's the name of the road or not, but it was close by, but I really was all frantic and we just started walking.
So did you just wander around?
Pretty much.
Okay.
I would say, yeah,
Okay. Now, you were living at the Super 8, right?
correct.
And you were still in the downtown area, correct?
Correct.
So at some point you had to walk back to your car to get to Super 8, correct?
Correct.
How long were you walking around?
I was just gonna leave my car there and catch an Uber, but then my phone had died, so I called for a ride, but my phone had died, so then it took me a long time to find my car. I finally found my car and drove back to Gray.
Okay. And you wanted to leave the car there because you know a shooting had just occurred, right?
Correct,
And you were afraid that they would be looking for that vehicle, right?
correct.
Okay. Perfect. Good answer and honest. Okay. At the time that you got out of this, at this indeterminate parking lot, Brian got out also?
Yeah,
Could you tell what direction he went?
we were together at first, but then we separated.
Separated, how long after you both got out of the car? Were you separated?
It just seemed like everybody was looking at us, I don't really recall. When I threw Chris's phone, it was probably a minute or two after that. He
Okay.
disappeared, I didn't see him.
Okay, so you threw Chris's phone.
Correct.
You just paused it, what?
Yep.
Okay.
Dropped it.
Was there a reason you didn't leave it? Now, you didn't get the car, did you?
They had tried to.
Okay, and part of this phone was part of a plan to get the car, right?
Yeah,
So you didn't really need the phone at that point, did you?
no, I didn't want the phone.
Okay. Why didn't you leave it in Chris's house?
He was running on, I ran out the door and it wasn't his house. Just saying,
I understand, it's not Chris's house, but he resides there, right?
no,
How do you know he doesn't, you've never been there before? How do you know Chris doesn't reside in that house?
because Chris stayed at the super, Chris had his own house. I know Chris didn't stay there, he was just there with my husband.
Oh, okay. I'm almost done. So you and Brian walked together for a bit,
Chris said, "Yeah."
which means that you're both going in the same direction. At some point, you separate. Any discussion as to why to separate?
There was no discussion, not separating at all, like we weren't going to separate, but it just happened so fast. I don't think either one of us knew which direction we were going.
One of the last questions I asked you, and that means I'm just about done. I'm just about done. Is Mr. Berman asked you why you thought Chris owed Brian money, and you said drugs?
Correct.
How would you come by that knowledge, or that opinion?
First is the drugs on me. Right from most of the time. I've seen it,
Okay. Personally seen it, right?
correct?
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You know how long you're gonna go? Because my understanding is that your client needs to use the restroom.
Yeah, I'll be fast.
5 minutes.
Can you wait 5 minutes?
Yeah, it's not.
Okay, sounds good.
You just said something about fronting Chris drugs. Did Brian front Chris drugs? You said you'd seen it.
I've seen Chris at front of drugs in the past. I have not seen Brian front of drugs, no.
Have you seen Brian provide Chris drugs?
No,
Okay, thank you. Approach the witness, Your Honor.
Yes.
You showed People's Proposed Exhibit number 8. Does that look familiar to you?
Yes.
And what is it that we're looking at?
it's the case I walked up.
Is that the back staircase?
Correct.
Is that the way it looked on April 10th of 2024? Pretty much, other than that's in the nighttime and you're probably there in the daytime.
Right,
People would ask for admission of proposed exhibit number 8.
Objection to People's 8.
I am sorry, I was conferring with.
People's 8 is,
That's
Seen
fine.
it.
For the purposes of the prelim, I'll stick with that.
okay. People's 8's admitted.
Just one further thing. You said that pretty much at the same time that the door was opening, a shot rang out.
correct.
Do you remember in total that day, how many times the gun was fired?
Right,
And you went into the apartment and grabbed the phone.
Correct.
Where was Brian Blaylock when you grabbed the phone in reference to the apartment?
In front of Chris, they were messing around
Was that in the apartment or outside?
inside the apartment.
Thank you. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. May this witness be excused?
Yes, Your Honor. Would it reapproach?
Yes. Yeah, he'll uncuff you.
I'm just gonna go get my next witness, so.
Oh, I'm like, but that amount is very high. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, you call your witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. People call Ethan Merle.
No,
Can you say it again?
gosh, when just one minute. Okay, yep. Can you call your witness again?
Thank you, Your Honor. People call Ethan Merle.
Okay, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
Thank you. You can have a seat. State your first and last name and spell both.
First name is Ethan, it's spelled E-T-H-A-N. My last name is Merle, it's spelled M as in Mary, U-R-L-I-C-K.
Thank you. Proceed. Counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. So where are you employed
I'm part of the Lansing Police Department
and in what capacity?
as a police officer.
Were you so employed on April 11th, 2024?
Yes, sir.
And did you have occasion to respond to an address of 535 North Pine Street?
Yes, sir.
Is that in the city of Lansing?
It is.
Do you recall why you responded to 535 North Pine Street?
I was dispatched for a pickup property complaint.
And what was the nature of the property that you needed to pick up?
The reporting person advised he located a firearm in his yard.
And when you arrived at 535 North Pine Street, did you find a firearm in the yard?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall what make and model firearm it was?
Yes, sir. It was a black Beretta 9mm.
And did you take that Beretta into custody?
Yes, sir.
And do you recall what time of day this was?
It was approximately 7 o'clock in the evening.
Was the firearm loaded?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall how many rounds the magazine holds on that firearm?
I do not recall.
Was the magazine, to your recollection, if you can recall, completely full at capacity, or were there any rounds missing?
I don't recall the count now.
And you took that gun, did you take it back to the Lansing Police Department?
Yes, sir.
Did you tag it in as evidence?
Yes, sir. It was tagged as evidence.
I have no further questions.
Cross-examine.
What day was this that you got the call?
That's April 11th.
And know who the caller was that you responded to, that resided at 535 North Pine Street?
The subject's name was Rodney Wilson.
Rodney Wilson. You located a firearm in the yard. Where in the yard was it?
So it would have been on the northeast corner of the residence. I'd say about 10 feet off that northeast corner.
Say that that's off the northeast corner.
Mhm.
Well, was this on a just a corner house, or was it like?
Yes, sir, a corner house.
It was a corner house. And so what would Pines intersect? What would be the other street?
That'd be Lapeer and Pine.
Would be Lapeer and Pine?
Yeah, so if you're basing off the intersection, then southwest corner of Lapeer and Pine.
Okay. Did you preserve the weapon footprints?
Yeah, I wore gloves to handle firearm, correct?
Okay, could you, sometimes visually you can see whether or not there are prints, could you see them?
I did not.
And was there any age wear on it, like rusting, or was that
It appeared worn.
31? And how does that manifest itself?
For me?
Yeah.
It
Just to,
didn't appear to be out of the box, so I just assumed it'd be worn.
okay. Um, Are there any cameras on that intersection at North Pine and Third?
None that I was able to locate.
Did you canvass the area to see if there are any home security cameras?
Yes, sir.
Were there?
None that I can locate.
You asked Mr. Well, Mr. Gertz, did you ask Mr. Wilson if he saw it being thrown there?
He mentioned nothing to note, no.
And has anyone subsequently come forward and indicate that they saw how it happened?
No, sir.
Yes,
You redirect.
Thank you. Officer, how far is 535 North Pine Street from 409 North Sycamore Street?
I would say it'd be just about 3 blocks, maybe just under 3 blocks.
And when you recovered the firearm, did you do anything that we usually refer to as making it safe?
Yes, sir.
And does that include taking the slide and racking it back?
That's correct.
And do you recall if a round was ejected when you did that?
Yes, sir, there was.
Thank you. No further questions.
This witness be excused.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, officer. You may be excused. You can call your next witness.
Toko. Next witness, Your Honor.
Solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give us the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury.
That's what.
You can have a seat. State your first and last name and spell both.
Sergeant Gino Tocco, Ginotocco.
You can proceed, counsel.
Thank you. Good morning, Sergeant. Where are you employed
Lansing Police Department,
and what capacity?
I'm a sergeant on night shift.
Turning your attention back to April 10th of 2024, how were you employed?
I was assigned to crime scene investigation.
And what are the duties that relate to crime scene investigation?
We're responding to major crimes, documenting the scene, with photographs, sketches, and collecting evidence.
Did you have occasion to respond to 409 North Sycamore Street?
Yes,
Is that in the city of Lansing, County of Hingham?
yes.
And why did you respond there?
I was called in to work for a report of a shooting.
And did you arrive on scene?
Yes,
Did you photograph the scene?
yes.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
I am going to show you people's 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Ask you to look through those. No, and that the record reflect I had previously shown those to Mr. Silverthorne.
Thank you.
Sergeant, do you have occasion to review those?
Yes,
Are those photographs of the scene at 409 North Sycamore Street?
photographs and a sketch.
And that's true. And were those all, as far as the photographs go, were those all taken April 10th of 2024?
Correct.
And that was at 409 North Sycamore Street?
Yes.
And do the photographs fairly and accurately depict the scene at 409 North Sycamore Street on April 10th of 2024?
Yes.
People seek the admission of 4 through 7 and 10 through 15. And then we'll get to the sketch, which is 9 in a moment.
Any objection to people's 4 through 7 or 10 and 10 to 15?
Yeah, on that, I stipulated for the purposes of the prelim only for the admission, for that limited purpose.
4 through 7 and 10 to 15 are admitted by stipulation.
And then there's also a sketch, that being people's proposed exhibit number 9, which is now missing.
On the stack one.
There we go. Thank you. Like a card. Did you have occasion to review people's proposed exhibit number 9?
Yes.
And understanding it's not to scale.
Correct.
You didn't make this drawing, did you?
No, my partner, Sam Pierre, did. Oh, yes,
When you were on scene at 409 North Sycamore Street on April 10th of 2024, did you have the ability to review the scene?
yes,
And other than it not being to scale, does this sketch fairly and accurately depict the way the house was laid out?
yes.
People would seek admission of number 9.
Any objections to people's 9?
Oh, yeah.
People's 9's admitted.
Thank you. Sir, I'm going to show you people's number 4. What are we looking at in that photograph?
It's the rear door of apartment number 3. The stairs.
I'm going to show you, it's already been admitted, people's 8. Is that door at the top of those stairs?
Yes,
And so when you go to that first door, does that just take you into the general area of the top level?
yes, it's a bathroom on the left and kitchen straight ahead, and then living room / bedroom on the right.
Does the bedroom on the right have its own door?
No,
So it's just its own whole residence at the top?
yes,
Was there any designation, if you recall, on the door frame? Strike that. Was there a bedroom door?
straight ahead, there was another bedroom door.
And did that have any designation with a number or letter of any kind showing an apartment number?
Not inside, no. Well, there was the front entrance bedroom door, but as we approach from there, was apartment number 3. There's 2 doors to that, so strange layout.
I'm going to show you people's 13. What are we looking at in people's 13?
Doorbell camera with apartment number 4 and 2.
Was it safe to say that this home was divided up into separate apartments?
Yes,
And based on your observation, there were doorbells for each apartment?
I don't know if there's a doorbell for each one, but there was 4 apartments. Yeah.
And how many doorbells, if you recall?
I only remember this one in the photo here.
Thank you. And then in people's 12, what are we looking at there?
So 4 mailboxes.
And are those broken down by unit numbers?
Yes, 1 through 4, they're labeled.
So there's 4 separate mailboxes.
Yes,
And did that correspond with the 4 separate apartments, so to speak, inside this home?
yes.
I'm going to show you people's 14. What are we looking at in that photograph?
This is a bullet that was lodged inside the front door, the inside of the door of the apartment 3 entryway,
I'm going to show you
bottom of the stairs.
people's 10. Is that the door that it was lodged in?
No, this is the bedroom door on the interior of apartment 3.
So people's 10 is the interior door that led to the bedroom?
Yes,
Okay, and what are we looking at of significance, if anything, in people's 10?
the door is broken and there was paint chips on the ground. You can see some missing from the door here. And then the bullet itself looks more perpendicular, struck at a 90-degree level.
I put that sticker on there and guessed as to whether or not it was the correct right side up or upside down. Do you recall, is that the correct orientation of where the damage to the door was in relation to the bullet hole? In other words, could it have been like that?
The bullet hole was lower to the ground. It was like below knee level.
So it's the opposite of how I have the sticker?
No, the fracture I think is below. I have to look at the other photos to be sure. Yep, it's that correct orientation. there.
Thank you. And then, so in People's 14, where was this bullet recovered from? Was
This-
that upstairs or downstairs?
This is downstairs inside. So it's the bottom of this, the front stairs inside, and it was lodged inside of a wooden door.
And in People's 5, what are we looking at there?
So this is standing just outside, would be the entrance to apartment 3, but the bedroom entrance. So it's that's where it's a unique setup. It seems like the back door might be the main entrance, and then the bedroom can cross through and leave out the front of the residence. But from here, the apartment 3 is on the left, and you're looking down the stairwells, which is the direction where the bullet was.
So that stairwell is interior versus the one we looked at earlier, which
This
was
is
exterior.
Yes.
And then what are we looking at in People's 6?
This is still that same interior stairwell. Looking out, you can see blood spatter going all the way down the stairs, almost on every step. You can see a shell casing at the bottom, spent casing from a bullet,
And
and
then-
bloody pair of blue jeans and shoes.
And then the bullet that we were talking about recovered in People's 14, is that,
That's from this door in the photo. The door is open in this photo, but it's from the inside of the door. So the door would have been closed.
and then in People's 7, what are we looking at there?
Is now standing at the base of those interior stairs from the outside looking in at the blood spatter, cooling at the base of the stairs and the blood stain patterns on the wall.
And is 15 a close-up of the shell casing and the blood at the bottom of the stairs?
Yes,
Then what are we looking at in People's 11?
this is also a 9mm casing, but this is interior door and it's just below the bullet hole in exhibit number 10.
So would this have been taken upstairs or downstairs?
This is upstairs inside the kitchen. Just inside the kitchen, right at the entryway of the damaged number door in photo 10.
So there's a line, so to speak, and then there's 2 different flooring materials, is that correct?
Yes,
So the white tile is that the kitchen?
yes.
And what is the dark, I guess it's carpet maybe?
That's the bedroom that connects to going towards the front of the residence of apartment 3.
And then just to show you People's 9, it might help to show the judge at the bottom of People's 9, there's, looks like a staircase, is that correct?
Yes, so that's from the parking lot, the rear wooden stairs going up into the back of the residence. That's the bathroom on the left, kitchen, and then the bedroom, which has 2 doors and the 2 interior doors, but one of the interior doors leads to the stairwell that goes out to the front of the residence.
And then the recovery of the bullet in the door, or I'm sorry, strike that. The shell casing and bloody stairs would be where in that diagram?
There's 2 casings, so one's in the kitchen. I think it's labeled with 5. It's the kitchen and the bedroom, and then the other casing is going to be at the top of the photo, but inside at the base of those stairs leading to the exterior.
So basically 2 staircases with regard to this home, one on the exterior and then on the other side of the house on the interior.
Yes,
So one shell casing was found upstairs by the back, and then the other shell casing was found across the other side of the house, down the stairs by that other door,
yes,
along with the bullet.
yes, it's lodged in the door.
Thank you. Did you collect other evidence at the scene that I haven't asked you about, I assume?
Yes.
I have no further questions. Thank you, Your Honor.
These exhibits.
Just actually one of them, I'm not sure which one it is, but I can pick it up very quickly. So I'm going to show you what's been introduced as People's Exhibit 14. That's, is that a bullet casing or a bullet, actually a bullet?
Actual bullet, yes.
Okay. And was that the bullet that you were referring to that appeared to be below knee level?
No, that was the one upstairs. That one is also below knee level. That's down at it's, the bottom right of the door as it's closed, but in the inside.
Oh, okay. And so it's below knee level. And would you say that, how far would you say it's from the knob of the door?
That would have been diagonal. I don't know the exact distance, but at the bottom right of the door, less than 6 inches around that area. I have other photos that I probably have a scale with.
Okay, so less than 6 inches from the knob?
No, from the floor.
Oh,
the
from the
bottom right
floor.
of the door. Yeah, when the door is closed. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know the distance from the knob to the bottom. It's closer to the ground though.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
maybe a couple feet from the knob.
Yes.
Okay. That's all. I have no other questions. Thank you.
Yes.
I just want to be clear that what we're looking at in People's 10,
Yes.
that's the upstairs bedroom door.
Interior bedroom door between the kitchen and bedroom.
Thank you. No further questions.
And this witness be excused.
He may.
Thank you, Sergeant Falcon. Any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor, not for the people.
Defense calling witnesses today.
No, Your Honor.
Proceed to argument.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm gonna just in the court to where ask for an additional 2 counts, that being home invasion first, found at MCL 750.110A2. That being that while entering president or exiting, the defendant did commit an assault and was armed with a dangerous weapon. And, the testimony was that there was a door at the top of those exterior stairs and they were let into that. But as far as the apartment bedroom door, the apartment door, that was kicked at by both Ms. Lavender and the defendant. And at one point, the defendant shot at the door. The court can clearly see the bullet hole in the door. There's also damage to the door. So I would ask the court, strike that. Ms. Lavender also testified that when she was grabbing the phone off of the bed, Chris's phone, the defendant and Chris were inside the bedroom starting to tussle. Therefore, the defendant did enter with the weapon. So I'm going to ask for an additional home invasion count for that, along with an additional felony firearm third offense found at 750.227B-C, in that while committing home invasion, the defendant was armed with a firearm. In addition to that, Your Honor, I'm asking for bind over on count 1, that being open murder. The testimony today from Ms. Lavender was that on April 10th, 2024, she was driving Mr. Blaylock from the Super 8 motel. At one point, they were going to head to Detroit. Instead, they ended up going to 409 North Sycamore Street. Ms. Lavender said that it was her belief that Chris owed the defendant money and they were going there, that it was her idea that, number one, no one get hurt, and number two, they take his car until Chris paid the money. They arrived, they went up those back stairs. Ms. Lavender knocked first, then Mr. Blaylock knocked. They believe that the door may have handle started to jiggle, but they were kicking at it when the gun went off. At that point, the door opened, they went inside. Chris approached the defendant, Brian Blaylock, identified by Ms. Lavender, and then a tussle, in her words, ensued with regard to the gun. At that point, it went out into the hallway, down the stairs, ultimately down to the bottom of the stairs where she said there was another shot. Chris said, call 911, and they both fled. After leaving the apartment, Ms. Lavender drove herself and Mr. Blaylock away from the scene. She indicated that she, being Ms. Lavender, told defendant Brian Blaylock to throw the gun out the window. We had testimony from Ethan Merlick from the Lansing Police Department that the next day, April 11th, 2024, he responded roughly 3 blocks away and found a firearm in a yard. I have already provided the court with lab reports that indicate that the shell casings found on scene and the firearm recovered were all fired from the same gun. The court has the autopsy report showing that Chris Stepanak was killed by a gunshot wound to the lower extremity. The manner of death is homicide. Your Honor, I'm asking for bind over on count 1, open murder. I need to argue second degree factors for that, and that when we look at that, just a moment. Second degree murder is that the defendant did with intent to kill or do great bodily harm or act, and this is the focus that I'm going to argue, the third prong, or act in a wanton and willful disregard for the likelihood that the natural tendency of said act would cause the death or great bodily harm. Kill and murder 1, Chris Stepanak. Said act committed without premeditation or deliberation. The testimony here is that they went to Chris's apartment. They went up the stairs, as previously stated, knocked and then kicked at the door. The gun went off. There was then a struggle. But what's important to note here is that there was this home invasion, and the defendant brought the gun, and the gun went off during a struggle because his finger was on the trigger, or a finger was on the trigger. The defendant is the one who caused the wanton and willful disregard, that his actions would cause a wanton and willful disregard, that the likelihood and natural tendency of the act would cause the death or great bodily harm. He goes to collect money, supposedly. He's armed with a gun. He goes up the stairs. He's kicking at the door. Gun goes off. At that point, he's aware that his finger's on the trigger and probably shouldn't be, but then a scuffle ensues, according to the testimony, ends up downstairs. The gun goes off again. So the defendant is the one who acted with the wanton and willful disregard of the likelihood of the actions would commit or would cause great bodily harm or death. Carrying concealed weapon, Ms. Lavender told us that after the shooting, she took Brian Blaylock away from the scene, that the gun was obviously in the car when she suggested that he throw it out the window, and he did. So I'm asking for bind over on count 2, carrying concealed. Obviously, the possession by a prohibited person, the court is in receipt of the certified judgment of conviction showing the defendant is not allowed to possess a firearm. On April 10th, 2024, he did. We know it was a real gun because it went off twice. So I'm asking for bind over on count 3. The count 4, weapons, felony firearm, as it pertains to secondary murder, which is part of count 1. I'm asking for bind over on that, as well as count 5, that he had a firearm in his possession while he committed the crime of being a person prohibited from carrying a firearm. And those are both third offense notices. And then obviously I don't need to ask for bind over because the habitual offender 4th notice is a mandatory 25-year, follows the file. I'm asking for bind over on all those counts and the requested home invasions first, along with felony firearm, along with the other counts in the complaint be bound over to circuit court. Testimony was unequivocal of what happened here. The ID was made by Ms. Lavender as to the defendant being the person who shot Chris. The exhibits all show pretty much what occurred here, and venue was established by all witnesses. So I'm asking the court to bind over.
Just for clarification, you're asking for a added count 6 home invasion first and a felony firearm.
Would attach to that as a count 7.
Count 7. Okay. Mr. Silverthorne.
I'll address the request for the added counts first. Elements of home invasion first, breaking and entering a dwelling with intent to commit felony larceny or assault within. And by the testimony, our position would be that the only one that seemed to have intended that was the witness herself. given many opportunities to indicate whether it was Mr. Blaylock's intent to do that. She declined to ever indicate that it was his intent to do that. She surmised that there was a drug debt, and she suggested that they take car keys or take a car, but none of this ever seemed to have originated from Mr. Blaylock. So I'm going to specifically oppose the request for an addition for home invasion first, and then also along with that, then the felony firearm would die with that. I'll leave it to the court's discretion as to the existing counts 1 through 5.
Any re-argument at all?
Just as it pertains, the testimony was that they both kicked at the door trying to get into it. And in the very least, they acted in concert trying to get in. So I'd ask for that to be added as count 6 and 7. Thank you.
Okay, today was the date scheduled for a preliminary examination. Again, this is currently charged as a 5-count felony complaint, count 1 being homicide, open murder. The burden is on the prosecution to establish that they have sufficient probable cause that the felonies alleged in this complaint were committed, and sufficient probable cause to charge you, Mr. Blaylock, as the individual who committed these felonies. This is not a trial. They don't need to prove each element beyond a reasonable doubt. They just need to establish more than mere suspicion that the crimes alleged took place. And so the court will make a determination of the likelihood of their success at trial, as well as the credibility of any witnesses. We had testimony today, first from Amanda Lavender. She identified herself and described herself to be in relationship, a brother-sister type relationship with Mr. Blaylock, and that on or about the date of October 10th, 2024, that they were in contact with each other first at a Super 8. Or it's not clear what location that is in. However, she was going to give him a ride because he needed to leave the Super 8, and that they discussed going to Detroit. However, prior to making their transition to travel to Detroit, they stopped at a McDonald's located on MLK, which the court can assume is in the city of Lansing. However, the defendant, who she identified in court as Mr. Brian Blaylock, received a phone call to which the witness describes was regarding someone who owed the defendant money. She testified that she was aware that there was some money owed to the defendant by someone, the person identified or as the victim in count 1, Chris is how he was identified in court. And that Chris was going to be at a location on Sycamore, that she and Mr. Blaylock did not get any food, that they immediately went towards the direction of the address of 409 North Sycamore, which is in the city of Lansing, Ingham County, state of Michigan, and that makes venue in this court appropriate. The witness testified that she provided some suggestions in discussion with the defendant about how to recover property or money that was owed, and she suggested taking the car or car keys until money was paid, that there was more than one apartment is what she described the address to be, and that they arrived to the door of the apartment. They knocked on the door. It was later brought out on cross-examination of this witness that they knocked initially, but then that they maybe didn't continue knocking as to not alert the occupants that they were outside the property. That both parties, the defendant and the witness, were kicking the door, trying to get in, that they both were kicking, and at the time that a gun or a weapon was discharged. And the witness testified that she did not see a weapon until, or wasn't aware there was a weapon until the time that it was discharged. At some point, she, it sounds like she was trying to describe that there was no weapon being pointed, but that would conflict with her testimony that she didn't see the weapon until, or know that there was a weapon there until it being discharged. She also testified that once that a bullet was lodged into the door, she was unclear if the door was open from the bullet being discharged or from kicking. However, two parties arrived or appeared, someone identified by Jamie and then Chris. There was some yelling, and then Chris apparently took cover or came in front of Jamie. That Chris approached Mr. Blaylock in an attempt to wrestle the firearm or weapon from him. That there were tussling and struggling over the firearm, and that the witness, Ms. Lavender, grabbed the defendant's phone. So at this time, the parties are inside the home, and that Ms. Lavender testified that she saw the victim's hand trying to pull the gun away, and that the defendant said something to the firearm was discharged, that the defendant, Mr. Blaylock, said something to the fact that he, meaning Chris, grabbed the gun. The witness testified they saw the victim or Chris bleeding, that they both retreated to the vehicle and drove off, that she told Mr. Blaylock to get rid of the gun, that they were not too far from the area of Sycamore where they discharged or threw the gun out of the window of the vehicle that she was operating. I think she described the vehicle to be a Honda Fit. Count one, open murder. This information is not necessarily for the prosecutor. He knows the elements. You need to know them.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
No worries. I'll wait.
Donald, you sure?
Trying to figure out if you're gonna get Judge J-Mo. Is that what you're worrying about?
No, he said something
Oh,
about that.
okay, good. Now's not the time.
I'm sorry.
Thank
you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay, and so count one, open murder, which faces life in prison, by the way. The elements have already been gone over by the prosecution, and the testimony that was given in support of that came by the witness in the court today, Ms. Lavender, and that was that there was a that there was the death or killing of a Chris Stupanak, which I believe People's Exhibit number 2, which is from Michigan, University of Michigan Health Sparrow. A forensic postmortem examination identifies the causation of death and notes it as homicide, that the elements being satisfied by the testimony that the defendant, that being Mr. Blaylock, caused the death of the deceased, and that the deceased died as a result of the act of a shooting or discharging of a weapon, that the defendant had one of the 3 state of minds. Either he intended to kill, or he intended to do great bodily harm, or he acted in a willful or wanton disregard for the high risk of death or bodily harm. The testimony again that he goes to allegedly collect a debt for drugs, that he's trying to kick the door in concert with Miss Lavender to recover some property, and that he has a firearm, that the firearm discharged at the front door allegedly, and that wasn't enough to cause a firearm or weapon to be put away. If it was an accident or a surprise, which I think her testimony was that he appeared to be surprised when the weapon was discharged at the door. Well, the weapon wasn't put away, and there was no retreat after that. There was they entered the property after that, and there was a scuffle over the firearm and weapon. So the court is satisfied based on the testimony evidence that there is sufficient probable cause as to count 1, homicide, open murder, statutory short form, that will be bound over. Count 2 of carrying concealed weapon in a vehicle, requires that there be a firearm carried by the defendant or a pistol in the vehicle that the defendant was in, which we had testimony that the defendant was inside of a Honda Fit with Miss Lavender, and that at the after leaving the alleged incident at 409 North Sycamore, that he was instructed to discard of the weapon used in the alleged incident, and that they discarded it in an area not too far from 409 North Sycamore by throwing it out of the window of the vehicle. The court is satisfied by the testimony, the evidence on count 2 that will be bound over to the circuit court. Count 3, a weapons firearm possession by prohibited person is supported and by the People's Exhibit 1, which is a judgment of sentence from a certified judgment of sentence signed by, it looks like Judge Shalina Kumar from case number 20082222880FH, which would cause the defendant to have been ineligible to possess a firearm until otherwise meeting the requirements for eligibility. The court is satisfied as to count 3, weapons, firearms possession by prohibited person, that will be bound over to the circuit court. Count 4, weapons, felony, firearm, alleges that the defendant did carry or have in his possession a firearm, that being a pistol, when he had committed or attempted to commit homicide, murder, second degree, contrary to NCL 750.22 that was satisfied by the testimony evidence to accompany count 1, that will be bound over to the circuit court, as well as the third or subsequent notice. The weapons, felony, firearm in count 5 alleges that the defendant had a weapon, that being a pistol, at the time that he committed the act of possessing a person prohibited from possessing a firearm. That is satisfied by the testimony evidence and of course the People's Exhibit 1. So that will be bound over to the circuit court with the third or subsequent offense notice, as well as a habitual offender 4th offense notice. There is a request to add a count 6 of home invasion in the 1st degree, which would require there to be sufficient evidence that the defendant broke into a dwelling, and doesn't matter how much force was used, opening a door, raising a window, taking off a screen, or kicking a door, or maybe even shooting or discharging a firearm into the door to cause it to come open, would all be examples enough to show force for breaking and entering. Second, the defendant did enter the dwelling. There was testimony from Miss Lavender that they both entered the dwelling, that there was a scuffle between Mr. Blaylock and the deceased, as she retrieved the deceased's cell phone while they were inside of the unit. And third, that while the defendant was there, that he or was leaving, that the deceased was lawfully present, and that when the defendant was present or leaving the dwelling, the following circumstances were in existence: either he was armed with a weapon or another person was lawfully present. I think that we have both of those elements based on the testimony. The court is satisfied with the burden as to the request to add home invasion first. That will be added and bound over to the circuit court, as well as an accompanying count 7 of felony firearm to it, a pistol for the purposes of home invasion. Your bind over date is going to be March 5th. That's the date the court's going to get, the circuit court's going to get the file from the district court. You do not need to appear in the circuit court on that date unless your attorney is making a motion to have you rearranged at the circuit court. Do you understand that? That was a question for you, Mr. Blaylock. Okay. Otherwise, your next court date will be a pre-trial in the circuit court. Your attorney will be made aware of that next court date. Do you have any questions for the court today?
She stated that somebody let her in, so I'm not understanding.
No, they can't say this.
That doesn't sound like a question for the court. That sounds like a question for your attorney in private, okay? Let me put those there. Bond was denied in this matter per statute. That a denial of bond will continue any additional matters for the record.
Just, Your Honor, just to be clear, I believe the court said the very beginning, October 10th, 2024. I may have heard it that way.
April 10th, if I
Thank you.
believe
And
I did.
then,
Hope I did.
thank you. And the count 7 is felony firearm with a third or subsequent offense notice for the record. Thank you.
Correct, consistent with the other. Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Anything else from you, Mr. Silverthorne?
No, no, thank you.
Thank you. You're all set. Yes.